Hello, folks! It's me again, Amanda Enderman, your trusty tour guide in the wonders of the wonderful city. Um, Except today, we are not gonna do any imaginary tours. We are not gonna talk about history. As a matter of fact, I have decided to do a little Q&A video so you guys could get to know more about me. Why not? I have been posting videos for quite a few months now, so I thought I just answer a few questions. So I've gathered these questions from friends of mine and people I know and relatives as well. And by the way, fun fact, I'm recording this video right on Halloween. Yes, it is October 31st as I am recording this video, and coincidentally or not, I'm wearing black. Oh boy. Well, I hope I don't look too Halloweeny. This is not the idea of this particular video, so I decided to balance it out by putting on, a pale pink lipstick. So what do you think? This is new, by the way. I just got this. This lip color. So what do you think? Oh, by the way, this nail polish color over here. This is new as well. So what do you think in the combination with this one here? So, by the way, did this myself. I Most often I paint my own nails. Oh, also fun fact about me. Most often I paint my own nails, but once in a while I go to the beauty parlor, when I just feel like being pampered, I go and like do my nails. Okay. So beginning with the questions. First and foremost, this might be a long video, okay? So just relax, sit back, let's have a chat, just between us. I'm here in a different part of my living room. I hope you like it. I've changed the my table, my camera angle, so that we could have a more intimate setting. This carpet over here, it actually is a carpet. It belonged to my grandma on my father's side. So if you like that, hit the like button. Oh, and by the way, if you're new to this channel and you just got here, before I forget, please go back to the introductory video of this channel on the videos in English playlist, so that you can have an idea of what this channel is about, what I'm doing here, and all of that. So, but now to hop straight to the video, I've got the questions over here. So if I keep looking that way, it's because I have the list of the questions in a Word file, which is here on my computer screen. So, okay. So question number one: when was your first contact with English? Well, in case any of you don't know this, I am actually Brazilian, born and raised. In fact, I said that in the introductory video, but just to make that quite clear, I am Brazilian, born and raised. I was born in São Paulo, and then when I was 15 days old, I was brought to Rio, where I've lived all my life. So my first contact with English was when I was 5. All right, and a classmate of mine at the time had just had just come back from Disney World, that is, not Disneyland, Disney World, and but she just said Disney, of course, and I was enthralled by everything she said, so I had my heart set in going to Disney as well. So I asked my mom, and of course, at the time, we didn't have any money to even dream of such a thing. So my mom just told me, well, Amanda, there's no point in you going to Disney because Mickey Mouse, as in Mickey Mouse, he doesn't speak your language. So you're gonna go up to him and you're gonna say, Oi, Mickey. That's hi, Mickey, in Portuguese. and he's not going to understand a word you're saying. So what's the point? So she thought that she would dissuade me from going, you know. Little did she know. Then I started asking her questions about words in English. So I started asking her, so mom, how does Mickey say chair? How does Mickey say table? How does Mickey say door? And that sort of thing. So then she started telling me the words. And when I was, and one time she tells me that, I don't remember any of this. So she told me that I was in a restaurant with her. We used to eat out a lot when before my grandma moved here to live with my mom in 2017. We ate out basically every day. We only ate home cooked meals in either Easter or Christmas. So yeah, that's another fun fact about me. So we were in a restaurant as usual, and I told her at one point of the meal, Mom, o garçom, that's the waiter, forget minha, that's mine in Portuguese, spoon. So then she saw that and she said, "Oh my God, she has a way. Well, she has ease with speaking languages." So a light bulb hit her, and she started looking for an English course for me. But of course, I kept with my heart set in going to Disney. I didn't give up. Okay, and oh, and by the and so she started looking for a course for me, but I didn't how can I say? But I didn't oh boy um but I didn't there weren't no courses for children my age. I was 5, mind you. The earliest age that they accepted children here in Brazil at the time, and I believe still to this day, is 8 years old in an English course. So she found an American school in Botafogo called Our Lady of Mercy, and that's where I learned the English I know today. Though absolutely do not recommend this school at all, because plain and simple, I was heavily bullied there, and the administration of the school did absolutely nothing about it, and that to me is completely unacceptable. So do not recommend at all, because the most important thing is for a school to teach principles and values. And English you can learn, or a different language you can learn anywhere, as long as you have willpower and discipline. So, but principles and values, they're not negotiable. So absolutely don't recommend. So anyways, um so this was my first contact with English. So question number 2: when did you realize you liked tourism and history? Oh boy. So I'm gonna start with history, then tourism, because first came history, then came tourism. So I started liking history at about the same age, when I was 5. That was a very pivotal year in my life, looking back. So I started liking it when I was 5. So my Grandpa Giulio, for me. So Grandpa Giulio, he was my grandpa on my father's side. He always loved history, and already when I was 5, he was having circulatory issues with blood circulation. So his doctor, the doctors advised him to take up walking, take up exercise. So he did that at the gardens of the Republican Museum here in Catete. Which, stay tuned, because of course after this video I will come back with the videos about tourism and history, of course, and eventually we will get there to visiting the Republican Museum, of course. So That museum, by the way, was responsible for the beginning of my lifelong love affair with history. Because you see, I studied at the time at Zacaria, which is a school which is 10 minutes walking distance from my house. And by the way, I also went to high school and graduated high school there and had the best high school I could ever wish for. Thank you so much, Zakaria, for that. So then he went to pick me up, pick me. Oh, and he lived. And he lived in also nearby in Catete as well. So he went to pick me up at school, and then he took me to the Republican Museum and the gardens as well. And he always told me the stories, about mainly about the 1940s, 1930s and 40s, which was the period of his favorite president of all the presidents of Brazil. And we will get to that in the channel, so stay tuned. But his favorite president, and mine as well, well, for me, it's a close tie between the current president and this other president. This other president is Getúlio Vargas. So for me, it's a close tie, but my grandpa never got to live. Currently, unfortunately, he passed away when I was 18. That was in 2004. So his favorite was Getúlio Vargas. So anyways, this is how, and definitely I inherited this from him. So this is how I started loving history, and I never stopped after that. And tourism. Well, tourism, the thing is, I went to law school, believe it or not. I actually graduated law school, and but when it came the time to pass the bar exam, I didn't pass. Okay. Yeah. So I tried 5 times and I didn't pass. Okay. So after the 5th time, I sat down and I reflected about my life, and I said, okay, is being a lawyer still the thing that you most want out of life? Is that really what you want to do with your life more than anything? And guess what? The answer was no. So there is the possibility in life of giving up on a certain path and going in a different direction. This is what I did. So I remembered a friend of mine, which also was a lawyer, who had taken a course that he told me when I was beginning law school. And I asked him, what course was this? And he said that it was Siete. So I looked it up, and it was a tour guide course. And I thought, you know what? This might be a good thing for me. I know 3 languages already. At the time, I knew Portuguese, English, and Spanish that I could use for work. So there you go. So I went and never looked back until now, as you can see. Still kinda working with tourism and history. So I never stopped. So number 3, do you think tourism is going to be taken over by technology? Well, I think that every profession, every area has to adapt to the new technologies that come by. For instance, that I know of, the very first tourism agency ever was Thomas Cook. And that was either in the 18th or the 19th century. Now it escapes me. But in both centuries, for instance, there was no aviation. They did everything by ship. All the travel was done with ships. And this travel agency only closed just recently. I believe it was last year or the year before that. It was very, very recently. So of course this agency, being so old, naturally they had to readapt to the emergence of aviation. They had to readapt when computers came along, and all of that. So the same thing will be with this period that we're going through. Of course, now there is no, there is nearly no presential traveling, though. At least here in Brazil, things are slowly open up, but tourism has become very local. Like people are only going. People are only taking tours within their own cities or really close to the cities where they live in. But it's a matter of adaptation, It's just another phase in tourism, and there will be other phases. So this is what I think about it. It's all about adapting to the current technology, which basically is what I'm doing here. Is what I'm doing right here. Am I right? Giving virtual tours, right? So, 4. Would you be interested in working together with other English speakers that are not Brazilian natives? Sure, by all means. Especially when I talk about though I don't know when I would work with them in my channel specifically, because my channel is very much about Brazilian history and Brazilian culture. But I don't know. Maybe when I speak about a topic that relates to foreigners, such as, perhaps when I talk about the mass immigration to Brazil in the 19th century. Once again, stay tuned. Maybe I would like to speak to collab with an actual foreigner. Who knows, right? But it would be lovely, yes, to do such a collab, yes. So number 5, pros and cons of being a tour guide. So the pros are that you constantly meet new people from every walk of life that you can possibly imagine, every culture that you can possibly imagine. You meet those different people, and another pro is the variety of schedules that you can create for yourself. So, for instance, when I worked as a tour guide, I only did 3-hour long tours 3 or 4 times a week. So there was plenty of time, for instance, for me to dedicate myself to other things like studying, like language courses and such, you know, other activities. But on the other hand, if you want also if you wanna dedicate yourself only to traveling, you can end up taking a schedule where you only work a few weeks a month. You take a group to travel for a few weeks in the month, and then you rest the rest of the month, and you do it again the following month. It's very it has a good variety. And the other pro. So in the pros is that the other pro is that the thing that I most love to do, which is to talk about history, is not only what I do as a tour guide, but the thing that but also I'm the kind of person that I love history so much that I do that on my free time. I'm the kind of person who watches documentaries in her free time, reads books about history in her free time, and goes to museums in her free time, because it's something I love to do. So the other pro for me is that what I most like to do is actually my homework in work. So the more I do that, the more I grow as a professional. So it's heaven on earth in that sense. But okay, the cons. The cons is that even though you do meet other people, it's not long lasting. So the minutes that the tour or the trip ends, goodbye, and very likely you're never gonna see those people again. So it's so have a very strong circle of friends outside of tourism. Otherwise you're gonna feel lonely. Okay. And the other con is that you can't do a tour very serious. You can't. Otherwise, it's really weird because, and it just brings me to another pro as well. This that you work with people, yes, but you work with people at their best. When they're on vacation, where they're relaxed, and that energizes you. But the thing is that the con of that is that you can't do a tour, all serious and sad and all of that. You can't. Otherwise, it's gonna be weird. Imagine if you're on vacation and you're going on a tour and the guide is telling you the tour like this. You can't. You have to be in a light mood. You have to be uplifting, and it's kind of hard to be uplifting. It's very easy to be uplifting when you're happy and everything is going great in your life and all's well that ends well and all of that. But it's very hard to do so when things are not going so well in your life. Like imagine if that you just had an argument with someone, and right after you're going to get a tour, or you have I don't know, you have problems to solve, and you have to leave it all at home and guide a tour. So it's kind of hard in that sense. In fact, that for me was always the hardest part. All right. So, how did you choose the theme of your channel? Well, it's the history and tourism in Rio and in Brazil. Well, it's the theme that I most know about, and it's what I most love talking about. This is how I chose it. So, basically, that's it. Number 7. So, do you travel a lot? So, for me, for my own pleasure, not very much. No, I'm not one of those kind of people that has the so-called wanderlust. I'm not that kind of person. I do travel from time to time, but not. I'm not the kind of person that needs to always, always, always be traveling. I'm not that kind of person. The last time I traveled, in fact, was last year to Ouro Preto. Oh my God, what a city! I loved it. I loved every single bit of it. In fact, I would gladly live there. So anyways, the last time I traveled was there to Ouro Preto, and it was April last year. And for work, well, surprisingly, no, not at all. When I was taking, sorry folks if I keep changing positions. It's just that, well, I'm sitting on my couch, and sometimes I have to readjust. So anyways, the how can I say? Um, Funny. I thought that at first, when I was taking the tour guide course, I thought that I would travel a lot, as a tour guide. But incidentally, no, I've only been doing what we call receptive tours, which is the tourists come to Rio and I take them to places in Rio. So I'm at home, I go to the place of the tour, I do the tour, and then when the tour ends, I come back home. So it's like, so that was something that very much surprised me, actually. So, what is your academic background? So, I'm a law school graduate, and I also have a graduate school in international relations and the tour guide course. So that is my academic background. So number 9, after the pandemic, do you intend to continue doing guided tours? Yes. Yes, of course. And it's funny though, whenever people ask me, what do you plan to do after the pandemic? After the pandemic, such and such, I always, I always, I always, I'm always reminded of those World War One or World War Two movies when people ask other people, so what are you gonna do after the war? You know, funny. But anyways, I most certainly intend to continue doing guided tours after the pandemic. Yes. In fact, if I could, I would be doing them right now. If I had, actually, some tourist attractions have already reopened in Rio, thank heavens, such as the Christ the Redeemer and the Sugarloaf, and also the Parque Lage and the Botanical Gardens that I know of. So if I had opportunity, I would, yes, guide people, even if only to those places. Oh, and the Flamengo Park as well. So which always has been open, even throughout this whole thing has always been open. So if the opportunity would arise now, I would be doing that right now. This is how much I love being a tour guide. So, what do you like to do in your free time? Well, besides the things that I mentioned, I like dancing a lot, especially when it comes to Arabic dances. In fact, I have taken 14 years of belly dancing. This is how much I loved it. And for the past 5 years, ever since the end of 2015, I have been taking Lebanese dabke lessons. So all of you Lebanese people out there, yes, I know how to dance dabke and belly dance as well, and I love it. But also basically any kind of dance which is not funky, I like. So, and I also like to go tanning at Aterro, and yes, I do tan. I don't burn, I tan. As you can, well, the light isn't favoring it much, but you can see that here there's a, oh well, the light is basically erasing it. But in previous videos, I think you can clearly see that I'm more tanned than in other videos already in this channel. So I do like to go tanning, and I normally do that either in the Flamingo Park, which is right next to the beach. But I normally do that in the grass, and or I like going to the Air Force Club, of which I have been a member practically since before I was born. I was born already being a member, and so are my parents. So I normally go there as well. I like going to the pool and all that. Okay. And I very much love flashback music as well. You know, especially the 30s and the 40s. I love that. Love that period of time in general. But I also like to dance music from the 50s. I like disco. I like all kinds of stuff. You can see that I'm very eclectic in that sense. So, where do you get so much information about the history of? Sorry, I forgot. Before I answer this question, another thing that has been very much of a pastime for me. It always was, but in this quarantine, I've taken it to a whole new level. Is embroidering tapestries. Yes, here in fact is one that I have done in this period of quarantine. Yes, let me just unroll it for you. Here it is, and I have done this in this period of quarantine, ladies and gentlemen. This was hand embroidered by me, as you can see. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cover my face with it. Oh boy. So, but this was it. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. So, last question, 11 and final question. Drum roll. So, where do you get so much information about the history of Rio from? So, I have read several books. and I have shown them in more detail in the Portuguese version of this video, but they're all in Portuguese. So if you would like to know exactly what they are, you can go to the playlist of the videos in Portuguese and watch the last video. I showed the books, and I say which one was written by whom. If you're interested in buying any one of them for yourselves, you can go there. So you can go to that other video. Other than that, museums are a very good source of information. Well, now they are still closed. Yes, museums are still closed. Can you believe that? I want museums back. So museums are also a great source of information for me. Museum exhibits. In fact, I normally take pictures with my cell phone of the texts that are with the photos, if there are any, and then I save it in my computer. In fact, the Hydrating Rio video, most of the information came from a museum exhibit which talked about the rivers of Rio. In fact, roughly translating, this was the title of the exhibit. So that is also another great source, and documentaries as well. I very much like the BBC and History Channel, Discovery Channel, National Geographic, all the big ones. And there's also a YouTube channel from Brazil, which is called Brasil Paralelo, which is very interesting source. But once again, it is all in Portuguese, though I think they have subtitles in English for their videos. I'm not sure, but if you would like, you can check out this channel as well, Brasil Paralelo. Their videos are phenomenal. And can't say enough good things about it. And what else? Oh, and whenever I can, I go to lectures and courses as well. Of course, I'm always updating myself, as any good professional should, right? So, folks, this is it. These are all of the questions that let me check. Yes. So these are all of the questions that I have gathered to answer for you. I hope you like this video. And once again, if you're new to this channel and you liked this video and you liked the content of the channel in general, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that you can always be informed whenever I post a new video. And of course, share this channel with as many people as you possibly can so that this channel one day can become a robust YouTube channel. All right? Please help me in this. So I would like this channel to be watched by as many people as I possibly can, the world over. Okay? See you in the next video. Bye.